Whew. All right. Imagine opening your phone 2 days before an election and seeing your representative being indicted in a massive bribery and a massive scandal that they admit to. Now, days later, you realize this is completely fake, but the damage has already been done. Their career has been ruined. Their reputation has been sullied, and voters are completely confused and distrust the entire democratic process. With AI deepfakes, this is becoming increasingly possible. In a national survey done by Podcastle with 1,000 US adults, it was found that 2/3 could not discern between AI voices and sounds and real voices and sounds, making all of this even more likely to happen. As a computer science and math major, I study these algorithms. I know how easy it is to make these deceptive types of videos. That's why we need to confront this process head on by creating and advocating for legislation and legal action that prevents these videos from being made and distributed during elections. First, I'll discuss how these deepfakes undermine trust, and then I will discuss how we can do targeted legal action to prevent these from happening again. Now, first, we'll look into how these deepfakes operate. The American Bar Association defines an AI or a deepfake in general as hoax media that depict people saying or doing things that they did not actually say or do. There's several examples of this in politics. To name a few, there was a candidate for Chicago mayor that had their voice deepfaked to where they seemed like they were admitting to condoning police brutality. There's also an example of Biden back in the 2020 election sending out calls to different voters saying, "Do not vote for me in a primary," right? Even now, this is still happening. In the Louisiana Public Radio released a report that found that there was $37 million spent on Kentucky's 4th Congressional District primary alone. And many of those funds were going towards deepfake ads. And these ads depicted the candidates interacting with or being endorsed with people who they had maybe never even talked with in their entire lives. Highly controversial people that dissuaded voters from voting for them, right? So this is a serious issue. And even well-informed voters who can look at that and say this is ridiculous are still at risk of this. You see, a study by the University of College London found that only 73% of adults could discern these videos from real ones. And this is across generations too. Us young people, we are not immune to this. We are not immune to this kind of deception. So it just highlights how dangerous these elements are. And right here, you can see an example of real versus deepfake. And if you're just scrolling on your phone, it can be very easy to get these two mixed up, right? Very easy to not tell. So, now we see how deceptive and dangerous these are. Let's now look into how to tackle this problem head on. See, we need to protect elections. There's actually already exists legislation in the United States Senate, Senate Bill 1213, called Protect Elections from Deceptive AI Act. And it prevents the distribution of these AI deepfake videos within 90 days of a critical federal election. It would also provide injunctive relief and be able for candidates. So if they end up having these attacks against them, they can claim for relief and get these damages overridden and have financial burden and relief. And there's clear precedent to doing this. So if we look at this right here, we see state legislatures that have sort of passed these similar sort of laws. And already 30 states have done this. Notably, we have Most notably, there is Texas and California have passed almost the identical law to the federal level, one that we are seeing being pushed through Congress. So, it's clear here that there is a legal framework that we can use to accomplish this. Now, today we have discussed how AI deepfakes are incredibly harmful for elections and how we can tackle these head on to solve the issue of this. If we cannot trust the videos and output we are seeing, our democracy is failing. And if videos decide what voters vote for, then it simply becomes a game of what is the most addicting content rather than the most compelling policy argument. Please contact your local representative or senator to advocate for passing Senate Bill 1213. Thank you.
All right, that's good enough.